It's NFL playoff action, and you can sign up at MyBookie with our promo code Gators to get your first ever deposit match dollar for dollar. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime with MyBookie.
Want more Gators Breakdown? Join Gators Breakdown Plus. Starting at $3 a month, get access to unique episodes, plus a blog, chat room, giveaways, shout-outs, and more. Gators Breakdown Plus is furthering the interaction with fans and listeners like you. Head to GatorsBreakdown.supportingcast.fm to join Gators Breakdown Plus today. Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
Thanks for hopping on here for another Spaces. Been a while since we got together, talked about what's going on in Gator Nation. Billy Napier on the forefront right now. Staff hires on the forefront. Even a little video yesterday showed us a little bit of what's going on. It's phase one of Billy Napier's program. Even got some, looking at the clips of it, some people who were still on the team we weren't necessarily sure going to be on the team, mainly Amari Burney at the linebacker position. Then we got word last week that the one black is moving to inside linebacker, so Florida's linebacker depth was it Miller, Hopper, Wingo, Scooby, the one black, Amari Burney. So I think that told us a good bit yesterday of who's got that linebacker depth for Florida. But plenty to get into. Everybody can hop in. Got thoughts or questions? A little more news this morning. Football Scoop reporting the special teams hire for Florida. Looks like it will not be a dedicated on-field position. But going from Louisiana again, Chris Couch, according to Football Scoop, is finalizing an opportunity to rejoin Napier at the University of Florida. He is not expected, of course, we kind of know that right now, not expected to be one of Florida's 10 on-field assistant coaches, but expected to hold a critical position for the Gator special teams work. So it does look like, during prep week, during game week, he'll be heavily involved in the special teams coordination, and then one of the 10 on-field assistants will be the person on game day. So that's an interesting aspect of it. And now, look, I'm sure they'll work together during the week as well. But we've pretty much got the roles that we know for everybody so far. So you need to go through the previous hire or go through the hires that have been made and see if there's previous experience there in the special teams angle of it. And maybe see who's going to be calling the shots for special teams on game day. But interesting note here on Chris Couch. He was part of the Georgia Southern team that came into the swamp and beat Florida in 2013. So a little connection, one that hurts a little bit if you want to go back and relive that. But there's his little small connection to Florida. So Football Scoop reporting, Chris Couch coming over from Louisiana. And going to be a huge part of special teams. Special teams, Football Scoops reporting is going to be a lead special teams analyst role. So there you go. So there's the bit of recent news, but recruiting, of course, kind of taking the headlines, rightfully so, right now with everything going on there. Very successful weekend for Florida this past weekend. Torrance committing to the Gators. Kimber, Miguel Mitchell, two from the transfer portal, of course, one high school. Not sure how much more active Florida will be in the transfer portal. Watch out for Javon Baker, of course, the wide receiver from Alabama. I think I saw he was going to visit Ole Miss as well, if I'm not mistaken. So something to look out for there. But it did look like off of interviews he was doing that decision would be made pretty soon. So not really sure what the timeline is for that. But it looked like a decision was going to be coming, honestly, almost off the heels of the visit. But I guess maybe a couple more visits this week. No Miss visit, I think. I have to go back and look. It may have even been during the week. We'll have to go back and look. If not, it would be this weekend, of course. And then, of course, Florida's weekend coming up. Kind of taking a turn. Javonte Citizen kind of hard to figure out when he's going to visit for Florida. But looks like now during the week next week and not during the weekend when all the other visitors will be on campus. And you can look at that a couple ways. At least he's going to get all the attention now. So I think you look at it that way and say, okay, well, there's a positive in that regard. I mean, Florida still wants him. Florida still wants another running back, even though ETN commits, even though you get Mitchell, the transfer from Louisiana. I think you're looking at the running back depth there. Definitely for spring, we talked about before, you needed one more body for spring to feel comfortable, I think. So Lingard and Bowman aren't taking all the carries and increasing their chances for getting injured. I said Mitchell, didn't I? Montreal Johnson is who I was talking about, the transfer from Louisiana. So, of course, gives Florida some depth there at the running back position for spring with Naquan Wright recovering from his injury he suffered versus Florida State. But now Citizen, as I said, will not visit this weekend. He'll visit next week. So this weekend, Jacoby Matthews, probably the top target I'd imagine on Florida's board right now. Safety out there, number one safety in the country. Florida nail him down from Louisiana. Going to be a big. That's a battle. I tell you what, Billy Napier comes away with that one. You could start pounding your chest a little bit even more for those recruiting chops there. Yeah, and this is something I brought up on the Gators Breakdown Plus Discord yesterday. I think it was or at some point, but you look at it and recruiting for the transition class and even the first season. I think they're kind of related in a way of they're not going to tell you everything ultimately. I mean, of course, I'm not really shedding light on anything new here, but I mean, this is a transition class. I think he's already impressed with what he was able to pull on early signing day. That gave you an inkling of what Billy Napier can do on the recruiting trail. When he goes out there and starts pulling some more big names, you're like, okay, yeah, this is already heading in the right direction. There's no wait and see. And we'll see what the big names he ends up with there. I feel comfortable in the groundwork and the foundation being laid that no matter what happens in this transition class, I expect the bump class to be massive and huge in every way you can think of that. Of importance, of getting high-level recruits. To me, that bump class is going to be there. I don't have any doubt in my mind. Billy Napier is going to be doing that the right way. And I don't think it matters what happens in the rest of this transition class. I really don't. If he can go out there and land Jacoby Matthews, great. But I don't think him not landing somebody like Matthews and Citizen out there is not going to shy me away from thinking of the potential of the bump class of 23. I think it's going to be highly regarded either way, no matter how this transition class finishes. And I think you can kind of transition that as well to the season. This was the part we brought up on the Gators Breakdown Plus Discord chat yesterday. Of record wise, is there a now? Of course, you don't want to go out there and go 2-10 or something like that, but nobody expects that to happen. But is there a record out there? And then of course, he goes out there and goes 11-1, 10-2. You'll probably feel a little bit better already of the direction of the program. But a lot of people are probably expecting that 9, 8, 7 win range because of the schedule. I don't think that will affect too many people ultimately of what they're going to think Billy Napier can accomplish. I see David Sirquist in here, and I know we've brought this point up before as well. It's like, okay, no matter what the record is, you give that hope of that recruiting class being in that top 5 range, somewhere around that, then you're like, okay, well, the future is setting up to look good. You don't want a struggling record and then the recruiting class not to necessarily come up to the potential it can be either. So I think there'll be plenty to point to, whether it be record, play on the field, whether it be recruiting ranking, that you'll be able to point to say, okay, yeah. And I think a lot of us already are feeling we're in good hands, and we see the foundation being laid and feel pretty good about it. Probably even exceeded some expectations on early signing day already. And how does that play out for the next few weeks? But coming up this weekend, confirmed visitors so far, Jacoby Matthews, signee at the tight end position, Tony Livingston, signee at the linebacker position, Shamar James. Then Hayden Hanson, tight end there, we saw a couple of days ago. Huge, massive body there at the tight end position. We'll see where that goes for Florida. Also, Central Michigan quarterback commit, Max Brown, who's got some massive stats out there. I think I saw his completion percentage is up there like 70, 71%. Not a highly regarded quarterback commit. Of course, committed to Jim McElwain's Central Michigan team. But we'll see where Florida goes with that. Defensive lineman Jason Jenkins, 4-star of 2023 cornerback A.J. Harris. That's one I'd like to see Florida get in early on, knock that one out of the park. And also 4-star of 23 defensive lineman Derek LeBlanc. So there, your official visitor list for this weekend. See where that goes. Florida add to it. Hopefully all those guys make it on campus. But Hayden Hanson, 6'6", 250. That picture I saw the other day just towers almost over everybody on the Florida staff taking that picture there. So he's from Texas. Got a lot of predictions now towards Florida. We'll see where that goes. Some other schools are starting to get involved as well. But everybody, hop in, join in. Questions, comments. What's got you excited so far? Hopefully there's not a lot, but is there anything that's out there that worries you so far? Maybe we'll get the Sean Spencer announcement today as well. And that's one of the worst kept official secrets out there. I mean, we know we saw yesterday. There's already recruits out there saying, "Yep, Sean Spencer, Coach Chaos, he's coming to visit." So I would assume Florida's going to announce that any time now. But I expect that one at any moment now.
Hey, Dave. Question for you. Do you think we go after that Georgia wide receiver, Burton, that just went in the portal?
Man, I certainly hope so. I love that kid. I love the way he plays. I think the early inclinations were it was going to be a Bama, A&M, LSU battle is what come out after that yesterday. I think 24/7 was the ones reporting that. But if I'm building it, I surely get into it. And I know, as I said, Javon Baker's out there as well, the Alabama transfer wide receiver. But Burton's got some numbers to already put to him. And he's a tough kid. I think he was dealing with an injury, what was it, last year, this year? I can't remember, but the start of this year at some point. But I like the way Burton plays. And from what we saw at Georgia the last couple of years, I certainly would go after him. If you're asking me to, Baker's got, I think, a lot of potential there from Alabama. But this is, a kid who's already proven it. I'm kind of surprised with what Georgia's losing. at the wide receiver position. Now, he doesn't stick it around, but some uncertainty. I guess still some uncertainty at the quarterback position. I know Stetson Bennett announced he was coming back there, but you also got a lot of those 5 stars on the bench, and a lot of wide receivers have made some big plays in that offense. It's not necessarily it's not an Oklahoma or Alabama or Florida in 2020 where you're getting 6, 7 catches a game. So maybe he wants to go get a fresh start somewhere else where maybe to throw it around a little bit more. So I'm interested there. Of course, Bama probably would be hard to beat if they really want him in that scenario. Him in a Bama offense with Bryce Young would be pretty scary to me. But I haven't heard how much Florida's going to get to. I think Florida will at least check and see where they're at in the mix and see how far if that 24/7 report is true of a Bama LSU Texas A&M battle, how far along are those schools for getting his services, and then kind of go from there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Just a couple of questions I had. The Todd Darlington hire, think it was a great one, and I'm hoping that may help us with some quarterback prospects this year. What's the as far as Arch Manning goes? I know that seems like a long shot right now, but does a guy like Ty help us potentially get a visit with Arch Manning?
You certainly hope so. And if I'm not, he's not made any of his official visits yet. If I'm not mistaken. So hopefully you get into that. I could be wrong on that. I know he's visited some schools, but I'm not sure he's had official visits this early yet. As far as Todd Darlington, he was announced as a quality control for tight ends, but we do know his background at Oklahoma, working with the quarterbacks there. He's gonna be an offensive analyst at some point. Yeah, I think it's you do use his background at Oklahoma a bit too, I think, and kind of go towards the quarterback position a bit as well, especially on the recruiting. And I'm assuming since he won't be. If I'm not mistaken, with his position, not sure he can go actually make visits. So it'll be when guys are on campus when he'll be able to kind of get on the inroads with them. But from the state of Florida, went to Oklahoma, and that's where he went to school. Spent 5 seasons on that. Very highly regarded. A lot of people think he's a big up and comer. I went to the Oklahoma message board when this was starting to announce, and they were like, "This guy, he's a head coach in the future." So, we'll see. Hopefully, he rises up the ranks at Florida before he's off and taking another job. But a lot of people were very, very high on Todd Darlington joining the staff. So, yeah, quality control tight ends for now, but I do think you use that quarterback connection as well when kids are on campus to kind of speak to them in that role too.
Okay, awesome. And the other thing I was just going to mention was it seems like since Napier's been hired that we've made up pretty good ground in the state of Florida. I feel like Miami's having issues getting coaches. Florida State's real quiet right now. Not a lot going on. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, good.
It just looks like things are finally going good for Florida, and imagine where we would be with Moan right now.
Yeah, hopefully there'd be a lot of apathy there. I'm not so sure that the spaces we're recording right now would have as much positive thinking and positive thoughts on it right now. But yeah, luckily we have much to discuss here, a lot of good to discuss here. But yeah, you're right. Billy Napier right away made IMG with getting Kamari Wilson. Okay, boom. All kind of issues getting kids out of IMG early signing day. All right. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say it's solved. That doesn't mean Florida's going to start getting more and more IMG kids, but I think it's a great start. I think that's something you point to, of course, because of the struggles Florida's had so much there. And then, of course, you got Jacksonville area coming up. Has some skilled players in the area. You hope Florida can start making inroads there much better than they have in the past. But yeah, overall, absolutely, you've got to at least start the process. Maybe start taking advantage of some of these 2023 kids that are already making their way on the campus. And as you said, Miami's struggling a little bit with their coordinator hires, and hopefully with kids not knowing. So right now, I think the longer that goes on, and Mario Cristobal is going to be a good recruiter. He's just going to be. But right now, you do hope at least early inroads you can take advantage of the slow hires there for Florida compared to Miami, who's also going through that coaching change. And you're right. While FSU has done very well in the transfer portal, much like Florida, it took a big hit on early signing day. And we'll see what that. I mean, it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of positive Joe with FSU right now, especially after what happened on early signing day. I think we'll see where that ends up going. But I think with Billy Napier's pedigree, early returns on kind of what we're hearing about, the facilities and the living arrangements and the staff being hired, that. He's turning heads. He's got the attention. We saw, what was it, last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, when he's at that coaching clinic here in the state of Florida with a bunch of Florida high school coaches. And I was talking to the person who runs that Twitter account, and unsolicited, he sent me a message behind the scenes because I was retweeting Billy Napier being there and talking to coaches and stuff, and I wasn't really putting much commentary on it at all. He reached out to me DM and said, "Look, man, Dan Mullen, he was invited to do this many times and he never did it." And that's a free recruiting tool right there. Get in front of high school coaches, make yourself known, go be friendly to them. And the last guy wasn't doing it. So, there are already early signs that we're seeing that, okay, he gets it. And that Dan Mullen wasn't going to be doing this. And Billy Napier is doing things like that. So, of course, there's still a long way to go. And early returns are good. We want to see it get there, but early, I like the direction we're seeing this so far.
Most definitely, and you can see it. I mean, that video of Harold Perkins yesterday. I mean, you could see him light up when talking about Florida. Now, a lot of people think it could be a troll job, but he generally seems enthusiastic about Florida.
Yeah, it's not a troll job. I'm not saying Florida gets him, and if Florida doesn't get him, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, he trolled Florida. No, there's legit interest there. There is legit interest.
Even though fantasy football season is over, you can keep the excitement alive with MyBookie's double deposit bonus. Having your initial deposit matched up to $1,000 is like playing every game with home field advantage. All you have to do is sign up, use promo code Gators to get your funds credited to your account instantly so you can start placing bets with MyBookie. With the NFL playoffs in full swing, there's no shortage of games to choose from at MyBookie, and everyone knows that the playoffs equal points. It's the best time of year to hammer the overs, with every player out there trying to make big plays. The player props are a great way to find an edge as well. MyBookie is also home to exclusive contests that can be used to maximize your winnings and make 2022 your best year yet. Don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code Gators. Place your bets and get ready for the intensity of playoff action. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime with MyBookie.
Antonio.
Yo, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? It might be kind of loud in here.
Oh, good. I hear you, man.
Man.
Antonio Valentino, everyone.
How y'all doing, first and foremost? Happy to be here. I just want to say, just because, I kind of stopped following recruiting, after, I was at Penn State, after, the second class of guys got there, just because it's too many names to memorize and all this other stuff. But I just want to weigh in on what I think, just because I was somebody who did get recruited, what makes a school attractive to a kid. So I wasn't very highly recruited out of high school. I was only a 3-star. And that was mainly because the high school that I played for, we weren't very good, didn't really win a whole lot. So I wasn't really getting a whole lot of attention. Coaches want to come see the winning teams and all that type of stuff. Which is actually funny because I had a coach at a camp. I ain't gonna say where I was at. He told us, he said, if your school doesn't win, I'm not wasting my time and coming to watch you play. So I was like, man, I guess I ain't coming here. So I was my senior year was my best year. After I figure out like training and you got to invest in it. That type of stuff is kind of mandatory now if you really want to get to where you got to be and you got to separate yourself. Unless you're just a one in a million type of player. But what makes a school attractive? What specifically what makes the University of Florida attractive is, to me at least, is the history behind everything. Like playing defense in Florida is a big deal. I'm just speaking for me, just because I play defense. It's a big deal, bro. Like you got guys like it was the Bama game and Brandon Spikes was in the locker room. Like and he came back and I'm looking at this. I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, that's B Spikes. Like I was watching this guy when I was a kid, and he was out there laying it all out there, and you know everything that they did. You got guys like Joe Hayden, like you know what I'm saying. But just it means a whole lot. So I think the history first and foremost of Florida is what makes it great. You go all the way back to guys like Coach Spurrier, his playing days, and then obviously what he was able to do as a coach. If you guys remember Brad Culpepper, I played with his son Judge at Penn State, and then and then coming down there and seeing his name on the All American walk outside, and then in the room of the guys who have been draft picks and all that type of stuff means a whole lot. And I think the things that Coach Napier is doing immediately is building a huge amount of trust within the guys and within the community of Gainesville in general. Because in the SEC they say it means more, and I would definitely agree with that. Because when it's going great, it's going great. When it's going bad, you go to the gas station. People are like, "What are y'all doing?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm just trying to get some gas, man." Like, "Oh, I'm sorry." like, I think it was a few things. Number one, he got all that situated out with the parking. Great. Incredible. Now, guys, it takes little things off of guys' place that we don't got to worry about. Now,
Antonio, for people who aren't familiar with that, what was the big issue there
well,
with the parking?
the issue was, first of all, I want to preface this by saying that nothing that I'm about to say is like pointing out a fault that the previous staff didn't do. I'm not. That's not me.
Right.
I ain't doing all that. But the thing was, there's literally nowhere to park for like anybody, right? And we also don't. I mean, you still technically don't. It's not finished being. It's not built yet. We don't have a facility,
Yeah.
so there's nowhere specifically for us to park. Now, I mean, when I just got down there, I'd assume, okay, I mean, there's a parking garage right here. I would assume we could park here. No, that's not the case. And I'm coming out and getting $35 parking tickets every day. Then they told us, no, you got to buy this parking pass called a parking ride. So I'm like, okay, cool. Do that. It's just it's like a little 5-minute walk from the to the stadium. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I can do that walk. Don't matter. Cool, buy that. And then I had it for the spring semester, and then I get an email, and I bought it again for the fall. And then I get an email saying that lot isn't a parking lot anymore. It's like an RV lot for the season. And I'm like, well, literally, where am I supposed to park now? I'm like, so either way, I'm getting a ticket. And it's like, it's either you do that or you get a scooter, like a little moped. So I think the university and the moped companies and the stores, they got something going on. You know what I mean? It's just something, man, because everybody has a scooter, but it is way more convenient. But it was just frustrating because, like, everybody doesn't have money for a scooter. Like, I had to finance. Like, I was only here for it would have been a year, like this weekend or something. I was here for less than a year, and I had to finance one. Like I got it on credit. So now I'm literally sitting here paying for a scooter that I don't even use anymore. Like it's still in Gainesville. So the fact that Coach Napier was able to go in there and be like, listen, I need somewhere for my guys to park. If they can't focus on, like, if they have to worry about whether or not my car's going to get towed, get a boot put on it, or get a $35 ticket every day, then they're not going to be able to focus on anything that I'm saying to them. So I think the fact that Coach Napier was able to do that immediately is a huge thing in building trust with the guys, because it shows that he's immediately about action. And I remember in the players meeting that we had, it was just the two of us, not the two of us, but him and the team. It was just him and the players. He told us that, you know, he was serious about taking immediate action about a lot of things, and he specifically told us that he was going to build a complete staff. Like he was bringing in, like, as you can see, it's like almost like 30 new people. And I think that that's awesome, because I think when it just allows more delegation of things. So it's like not one person has more than one job. You know what I'm saying? And I think specifically with the recruiting staff, I think our own recruiting staff did a great job, you know, with what they had and getting great players. And I think, you know, him adding people, it allows us to cast a wider net. But I will say this about recruiting. I know everybody gets caught up in, you know, getting the guys that are like number one in their class, number two in their class, or top five at their position. And that's wonderful, because you need those types of guys on your team to be like, you need big players like that. Like, you need those guys. You got to have a handful of them guys. But I'll say this. Your programs are built on the backs of 3 stars and guys who have lower stars, or guys who aren't at super highly recruited. Because I'll tell you like this. When I was at Penn State, I walked in to guys. I played with Miles Sanders, who's the starting running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. Who else was in my class? Cam Brown is now with the Giants. Guys like Shane Simmons, Mike Bennett, guys who had like 3 and 4 state championships, 5 stars, offers when they were in like 8th grade. Like, could have went anywhere in the country. I walked in there. Like, yeah, so how many state championships you got? I'm like, bro, I didn't have a win my senior year. I'm like, y'all got more state championships than I got wins. So I walked in there, and I'm thinking I got something to prove, and they messed with me for a little while. But then I kind of really, once it was really my time to go out there and make a difference, I really understood that, like, I think guys who are in my position, not trying to toot my own horn, but I think guys who are in my position or will have a similar experience to me are very important for a program, because they don't take it for granted. Not saying that guys who are 4 and 5 stars take it for granted, but I'm saying they had way more options. And to be honest, if like a guy who is a 5-star goes to a school for 2 years and decides, I don't want to be here no more, he can hit the portal and pretty much have all of those options open back up to him, because these coaches know who he was and what he can do out of high school. So the guys who, like, when Coach Mullen and when the staff changed, all those guys who were decommitting, and, you know, understandably so, Florida Twitter was like, oh, what are we gonna do? But these kids who are coming in here now, who got those offers, who are, some of them are lesser stars, like these 3-star guys, those are the guys who are really going to drive this culture that Coach Napier is establishing home. And those are the guys that you're going to need on your team. Now, when you have 4 and 5-star guys who have that same type of, not saying that they're incapable of it, but initially, like, it just for me speaking, at Penn State, I was like, bro, I'm just happy to be here, bro. Like, I didn't think it was going to come to this. I didn't think I was ever going to get this chance. So I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to give everything I got, you know. So when you had those guys, they're super important. And then once you get, because then those guys grow up through your program, they become third, fourth, fifth year guys. Maybe if they have to, they're older guys. So now when these young guys come in, these young cats come in and think, I got it all figured out. I'm gonna go in here, start right away. These guys can't mess with me. I don't care how long you've been here. No. When they come in here and they realize what the culture is guys like that who take them under their wing and show them the way. It's like, yeah, bro, you got the talent, but this is what we do as a team. Like Coach Napier got everybody tucking their shirts in. And I remember the guys was telling me about it. You know, like, man, we got to tuck our shirts in. Everybody got to wear like the same stuff, like the same cleats, same socks, same everything. Everybody has to look the exact same. I said, good. I said, that's discipline, bro. He's instilling small little things of discipline that we need as a team. That's what we need. So, and I was like, y'all might have an issue with it now, but I guarantee you in a year when these freshmen come in and that's how you're used to doing things now, and they're like, man, I ain't trying to tuck my shirt in. He's like, nah, little bro, tuck your shirt in. That's how we get down right here. It's the team. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, with and then the food situation that a lot of guys had problems with, that was, you know, brought to the internet. I think, you know, Coach Napier is just doing a wonderful job, man. I think he's hiring a great staff across the board. And I mean,
Hey, Antonio, on that right there, you mentioned staff. Tell us about Sean Spencer. You had a background with him at Penn State.
I was just about to get there. Let me tell you something. About Coach Spence, man. Coach Spence, I've never met somebody who, oh my gosh, bro. The man, for my entire time at Penn State, Spence was like a second dad to me. Like no funny business. The man was like a second dad to me because I knew he cared about me as much off the field as he did on the field. He took time to get to know us as individuals and how to talk to us and how to communicate with us. He knew our lives, he knew our backgrounds, he knew our families. He anything he says is the truth. And when he tells you, yo, I love you guys, he means that. And everything about Coach Spence is 110% authentic. I tell you what, y'all gonna love this man because he knows he's a recruiting master. He just knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. This is how. What y'all don't know. I haven't told y'all this. So this is how I knew I was going to Penn State. So I took my official. I was on my official. Coach Franklin does this whole thing. So my official was like at night, and it was winter. So it's snow covering the field.
Antonio, having a little bit of trouble hearing you right now with the.
I
guess that's the weights in the background.
Yeah. So this guy's on a sled. My bad. Hold on. I'll try to speak up. So I'm on my official, and we walk in the stadium, and the snow's covering the field, so it's all quiet and like serene. And I'd never seen a stadium that big. And my mom starts crying. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe, like blah 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 blah. Like people would sit in this stadium and watch you play, blah blah blah." And then Coach Spence and Coach Franklin go over and give my mom a hug. And that's how I knew it was over. I'm like, it's a wrap. And the biggest thing that I say that Coach Spence is going to bring to this team is an identity to the defense and an identity to the defensive line. So he called every room that he coaches, he calls us the Wild Dogs, right? When he was at they were at Vanderbilt, they had it. He went to when he came to Penn State, we had it, and he was at the Giants, brought it with them, and now, you know what I'm saying, you have to bring that to Gainesville, and I think y'all are gonna absolutely love everything that he does. He's super. He don't walk out to practice and it's just like, okay, well, we got practice today. It's like, nah, like he won't let you do that. He won't even let you think like that. Like, oh my God, it's just so much I could say. The man he's just he's just the best. He's just the best. That's my guy. Like forever. Like even when he told us he was going to the Giants, I mean, it got kind of emotional in that room. The guys ain't want him to leave. Like, he was really like a second dad, or just really a dad to all of us who were in that room. And he knew how to here's how I put it. It's like he had a bunch of pit bulls on a leash, right? Just all week through practice and through the season and everything. It's like he had a bunch of pit bulls on the leash. And then he knew how to control us. He knew how to give us enough slack, but not too little, not too much. And then on game day, he just let us go. And you could see, you could obviously draw the comparison between him coaching us and our performance. When I was at Penn State, except for the 2020 season, we had 40-plus sacks every single year, just the D-line. So he made us all much better football players. He taught us how to understand the game, how to play football, how to work together, how to rush, as a unit and not just as an individual. Like, shoot, Dafe Owe and both of my ends, Dafe Owe and Shaka Tony, both ran. Dafe ran a 4.3, Shaq ran a 4.4. He recruited guys like him, the guys like Dafe and Micah Parsons. Like, come on, man. And then you seen what he did. What we were able to draw up at Penn State for guys like Micah to be free and make plays. Like, he made me understand what my role is on the field. Now, I understand I don't play a stat stuff in position, but if my plays are there for me to make, I make them. But the majority of my work is making sure that my linebackers go untouched and they can run around and make plays, because there's going to be plays that are drawn up for me to make the play. So he just increased my football IQ, and he did that with all of us. He always challenged us to be better. And the biggest thing was that nobody was above the room. Nobody was bigger than the room. And I think that is the most important thing that he taught me and taught all of us, was that nothing is more important than the group. If you're messing up, you're letting the group down. You're letting the team down, but more importantly, you're letting your immediate group down. And that's something that, we just didn't tolerate. We had the least amount of guys getting in trouble and not going to class. At Penn State, we called them dawn patrols. You had to, come in early, do some running or something. We had the least amount of guys doing dawn patrols. I think we had one of the highest GPAs. We had guys just doing the right thing. And it was because we didn't want to let Coach Spence down, because he built that relationship with all of us. And he's such a relationship type of person that, man, y'all, oh my gosh. When I seen that, I almost jumped through the roof. I was so happy, because I'm like, it's exactly what these boys need, man. I'm like, I can't wait till he get his hands on G and Javon Dexter. I can't wait till he gets his hands on G, Big Dez, Boone, all them boys, man. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because it's like, it feels good to know that because these guys deserve it. Like, these guys worked super hard, and it makes me feel happy to know that these guys are gonna have the same type of experience that I had, and that's what really got me through hard times. My first couple of years at Penn State when I'm not playing, you start freaking out. You're like, what's going on? I worked my whole life to get here. Now I'm not good enough. It's like, no, immediately you might not be. But that was something I had to help. I had to understand. And Coach Spence helped me develop those traits as a man, and helped me understand myself more as a person instead of just as a football player. And it's just like, I'm so happy that these guys are going to get to have that same experience. And especially with just everything is just moving in the right direction. And it makes me so happy to see, because there's so much greatness in Gainesville that can happen. And it's right there. Like, the swamp is so legendary. And it's just like, oh my gosh. It's just like, it's man, I have such a good feeling about all this. I think everything is going to go back to exactly how it should be. We competing for championships, bringing hardware back to Gainesville, hardware that means something, like alumni going to be proud of us. Previous players going to be proud of us. I'm not saying guys didn't come back, but I'm saying we're going to have, I just know we're going to have guys coming back every single week. like major heavy hitters, guys like Joe Hayden, the Pouncey twins, Tebow, Fred Taylor, B Spikes, all them types of guys, bro. Like, just, oh my goodness, I'm just so excited and I'm so happy that it's happening. And Coach Spence is gonna be such a big part of that because he's too electrifying. His personality is too. If y'all thought that my mic'd up was great, wait till y'all see his mic'd up. I'm trying to tell you, man, if y'all do any research on this man, you will never see or hear a bad word said about him. He is a fantastic human being, a fantastic man, and a great coach. And I'm so happy that Coach Napier saw that and, brought him on. I'm just, man, I'm lost for words, man. I'm just so excited for these boys, man.
Sounds good, Antonio. Hey, man, thanks for hopping in here.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good stuff there from Antonio. Good stuff. I definitely had to ask him about Coach Spencer coming in, Coach Chaos, get his thoughts on that. And one more coming in here. Jeremiah, you there? Well, okay. Well, good stuff from Antonio there. Almost sounds like he wish he had another year there to play with Coach Spencer coming in. But good to get some clarification there on the parking situation and nutrition and all that stuff there. Jeremiah, you there? Okay. Let's see. Make some more in here. What's up? CW04? Well, you were in here. Oh. All right. Trying to bring some people in here. Let's see.
Hey, Dave, I was going to ask. I heard through some of the message boards that there's been talk about Amarius Mims possibly entering the portal. I know that we've talked about some Georgia players here, but that one to still look for.
I'm not so sure. I mean, it would have to happen pretty soon. I've heard that rumored and whispered about as well. I would think if that's going to happen, it'd have to be pretty soon with classes and, maybe he – at this point, I'm pretty sure if you're coming to Florida, it's too late to get in for spring. I think that had to be pretty much taken care of this week. So if anybody transfers in, you won't really be able to take part with team activities until the summer, I believe. But that's that is maybe something to look out for there on the back end of if he becomes available. I've heard that too, but we'll see where that one goes. I'm not. There's been whispers, but nothing really out there. And now maybe with everybody announcing yesterday, like JT Daniels leaving and Burton leaving, and also Stetson Bennett announcing him coming back, I would have assumed it probably would have been announced yesterday, but that's just an educated guess on my part. All right. Let's see. Terrence?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Jeremiah.
I have a question.
Yep.
How could a student athlete that plays sports in high school get recruited by Florida Gators coaching staff?
Right now, I mean, there's this big transition going on for mainly trying to finish this 2022 class. So there's some time. I think I saw you're a 23 recruit.
Yes.
So I would probably some time right now. They're trying to finish this class that's coming up, finishing up on National Signing Day in a couple of weeks with the transition out there. Making visits and hosting those kids. But I'd say after this signing day, you got the huddle out there. I'm sure, and tape out there, and maybe connect with them on Twitter. For one thing, or find out there's another way to connect to these new coaches and see if you can send it to them that way.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. What's up, Terrence?
Hey, good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I'm good, man. First time I verbally spoken to you. I know we've always interacted a little bit on Twitter. So
yeah.
Have you heard any intel on Harold Perkins? Like, do you think he's coming to Florida, or do you think he's going to go A&M or even somewhere else?
I will say, a lot of people, and we brought this up earlier, so I'll bring it up for anybody who's new and jumped in here too. But there's legit interest. The interest is legit. He's not trolling Florida, and that doesn't mean he's going to pick Florida.
Right.
If he doesn't pick Florida, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, yeah, Florida got trolled." No, there's legit interest there. This is going to go down to the wire. You've heard interviews there, that all those interviews, his face lighting up, talking about Florida and all that. That's real. That's legit. So we'll see. I still think ultimately, no matter what visits he makes, I still think it's mostly a Florida Texas A&M battle. The thing about his commitment was he always wanted to commit at one of those All-Star games. That was just his plan.
Right.
So no matter what, he was going to commit that day. And Texas A&M was the school most familiar with him, the school he felt best at the time. But everybody knew he was going to be taking these visits. Everybody knew that this is going to be coming down to National Signing Day. Even Texas A&M knows that. And so the Texas A&M side, they're keeping tabs. They're keeping eyes on this one as well with the real interest, the real interest there in Florida. So as far as the prediction goes, no telling, man. I just do know that it will go down to the wire as a real decision being made, and not necessarily just getting the attention of recruitniks out there and everybody. He's legit interested in Florida.
Okay. Yeah. I do hope that he really does pick the Gators, because, he wasn't really on our radar, pre-Napier. And, if this is something that Napier can pull off, then this is just going to be the start of something really big down there in Gainesville.
Oh, for sure, man. You want to start getting these top athletes here. Of course, something that we've been harping on for the last few years. So if you can sit here and already in your first early signing day, in your first national signing day, come in when the class was nowhere near where it should have been. You can come in right away, rise up these rankings and finish with a few top end recruits there. It'll send a message out there that college football, but better get ready for Billy Napier on the recruiting trail.
All right. Well, I'm going to mute my mic and let somebody else speak, but thanks for letting me on.
Sounds good. What's up, Carlos?
Yo, what up, Dave?
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Had to get back on the spaces one more time.
I see. I finally got the chance to hop on once with you. I went in surgery, so just wanted to say thanks. Happy New Year to you and whatnot to the fam.
You too.
Good morning, everybody else that's listening. Go Gators. I ain't really have much to say, man. I was just listening in and wanted to hop in right quick just to say go Gators and loving everything that's going on down there in Gainesville at the moment. All my Georgia fans up here, they are excited about their little championship. And I'm like, okay, cool. Happy for y'all. Great. Finally, 40 years in the making. But I told them, I said, don't get too complacent. We on the upswing, buddy. And we doing it all in silence, coming for you. So, loving it. I love what Billy's doing. I love how he's putting everything together, how everything is just coming to wraps. Like I had told you when we were looking for a coach, and I mentioned that stuff to you, Dave. If you go back and remember our conversation, even when I Twitter DM'd you about it, I told you, I said, we get this dude, watch out. Did I not say that? So.
Yep, yeah, and that was, I think, even well before the names even started filtering out. He was at the top of your list.
Exactly. So, but neither here nor there. We about to do this thing. We finna shock the world. And for all you Ice Cube fans out there that know the song No Vaseline, that opening line when Ice Cube said it ain't over, trust me when I say it ain't over yet. National Signing Day, y'all gonna get a real good surprise on who y'all think or don't think we gonna snag. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Dave. Go Gators. Have a wonderful day. Tell the wife and kids I said what up, homie.
Thanks, man. See you, Carlos. All right, last one here. Bruce can get you in here and then sign off for the day. Bruce, you're able to speak. Unmute your mic if it's muted.
Okay, I got it. Good morning, Dave.
Yep.
Hey, quick question. Speaking about Perkins and everything and Coach Spence, what is the chance we get Coach Spence and Shamar Stewart in a room together? I know it's late to the game, but
I honestly don't know. That would be a guess for me. I could probably reach out to some of the people who are closer to recruiting a little bit more than I am to get that one there. I'd say probably, like you said, probably a little too late there. But I don't know. Maybe Naper's got one of those, something in the back of his pocket there. But hopefully, if that is, it would have to probably start filtering out soon.
Love the film on that kid.
Oh man, yeah, tell me about it. But that'd be a big coup, be a big get there if you could somehow make that one happen. But Perkins out there as well. Hopefully that one's the one that goes the Gators' way with all the positive reviews so far. But yeah, man, it'd be one I'd absolutely love to happen. But yeah, it'd have to come out pretty soon if something was going to be the case there.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. All right. That will do it here on this Twitter. Everybody, thank you so much. We're about an hour here. I'll probably start doing this again a bit more. But like I said, just been really busy with all the just real news that's been coming out with all the hires and recruiting and just been what's going on around the program. Everybody, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for all the discussion. I see a lot of people in here from talks and stuff. Gator Collective. I see Gator Jen in here. Eddie in here as well. Everybody, go hop on that. We're talking about recruiting, how big it is. Well, NIL is becoming such a huge part of it, and we're getting some help there from the Gator Collective side of things. So, that's what recruits are noticing, and they're looking at what Florida has on the table. And the Gator Collectors can go a long way in helping these student athletes out there. So, go support in that fashion if you want to. Gators Breakdown Plus, of course, just hit over 300 members. That Discord chat, always hopping. If you want to talk even more Gators, I'll hop on there throughout the day. It has some discussions with the members out there. Special episodes happen every now and then as well. But a lot of talk there. Not just about football, mostly just about football. Probably 90% of it's about football, but some other topics out there for you as well. So, Gators Breakdown Plus. You can join that as well. So, everybody, thank you so much for hopping on this Twitter Spaces. Put it out there for you. If you weren't able to join live, you can listen to the recording of it. But thank you so much. And I'll see you on the next episode of Gators Breakdown next week.